Hey guys, it's Danielle over at DIYDanielle.com, and I decided today was a good day at like 30 degrees and windy out to build our goat house. Felt like I really didn't have any options. We're getting snow this weekend, so if it's going up, it's probably going to need to get built today or tomorrow. So anyways, I want to show you what I'm doing. I'm super amateur woodworker. My friend walked me through this, Scotty from Saved by Scotty. So make sure to check out her blog. She's got a lot of great projects, but she doesn't have her goat house up there. So she kind of walked me through it on private message. So hopefully she'll put it up at some point. But I'll show you what I'm doing to make ours. Okay, so for the bottom, I am using pressure treated wood. I've measured it out to 6 feet. I've got a cut. I have not cut yet. Sorry, I have a bunch of marks that I have been putting on here that are not all accurate. I've got the 3 foot mark also marked. I'm not cutting that. That's just to make sure I center my stud on there when I'm framing this. Just wanted to make sure everything was in the correct area. I've got to pull out a second one of these for the other side because these are the side pieces. And I will pull out 3 more boards to go for the opposite side as well. So right now I'm lining it up so I can figure out what angle I need to use my miter saw to cut this at. And I have decided she did hers at 6 feet tall in the front and 5 foot tall in the back. I ended up going a little extra tall because it's cut to 6.5 feet. And this is marked at 5.5 feet. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of the studs that I'm using for my roof. Oh my god, the wind. Woo! To figure out what the angle I'm going to have to cut this is. So as you can see, I'm lining it up here. And I'm going to line this up here. And so this allows me to draw the line or the angle that I'll need to cut with my miter saw. So first I want to make sure these are all, well, they're probably just fine, but enough, or they're probably good enough to do this. But you do want to make sure these have a right 90-degree angle and that they're not sideways or anything. It's hard. This is the flattest spot I really have to do this on because it won't fit in my garage. So anyway, so I'm going to draw my line out with my marker and just mark where the cuts will be. And you can actually adjust if you wanted your roof to be more sloped. You could mess around with it and figure out how you wanted to do it just by doing this. But that would mean your roof was taller in one part and shorter in another. So she had done 6 and 5, and I think 6.5 and 5.5 makes sense here. So I can draw this out. I also marked, like I said, I marked my center point here, so I knew exactly where to put this stud after I cut everything. Yeah. Okay, so as you can see, I've got my 2 side pieces for the bottom, 2 side pieces for the middle, 2 side pieces for the top, or bottom or back, and 2 side pieces for the front. The tallest part of this shed is going to be in the front, giving you access to get in easier, and the shortest part is going to be in the back, where you don't actually need to spend as much time. So here we are, and now I can make my cuts. And okay, so I have my wood that I need to cut on a slant. I already cut the straight bottom pieces, but right now I am cutting the wood. Again, this is the side pieces, and this is my first time using a miter saw to cut an angle. So I just adjusted it and I made it so that the blade would line up with my line, and as you can see, that looks pretty exact. So that's exactly what I'm going to do here. And now I just cut it, and I have to cut 2 pieces at this height, and then I'm going to cut 2 pieces for the middle and 2 pieces for the other height. Okay, so I attempted to pre-drill this. It was completely unnecessary. So what I'm going to tell you is, assuming your wood is easy to screw through like mine is, you want to make sure this is at a 90-degree angle. And you're just going to screw 2 screws in, because if you have one, it can actually deal with it. Okay, so I did my two ends first, and now I'm going to do my middle. Same thing, just make sure it's 90 degrees, screw it in, use 2 screws. Okay, so I went ahead and screwed on the roof section, or roof, the framing piece for the 2x4 for the roof, or the top. So as you can see, I lined it up angle-wise with the end here. I did each end, and then I did the middle. The middle isn't quite even, so apparently I screwed up the cut a little, but I think it'll be fine. So here we are. Here's the whole thing. It's actually really heavy already. I didn't expect that. So, alrighty, I'm going to lift this up. No, maybe I'm going to keep it on the ground because it's pretty windy. And just do the second one just like that. When you go to do your roof piece for the second set, make sure you have the same overhang amount in the front and the back as you did on the other piece. And again, I'm using 8-foot boards here for those. So this is 10.5 inches. I'm going to go make sure this is 10.5 inches and just do the same thing and screw them in. Okay guys, so I framed the front. As you can see, we have our area for a door, and then we have our 2x4 spaced every 2 feet after that. So I could put that door, actually, I could put it on either side. I guess I committed to putting it on, yeah, oh my god, which side was going outside? Yeah, it'll be on the right when I'm finished, because that's the that's our pressure treated. So the next part I'm going to do is I'm going to do the back. These are all cut to, oh, whoops, sorry. These are all cut to 6.5 feet. These are cut to 5.5 feet, and we will make the frame for the back. Okay, here it is finished. This is the back. It's 5.5 feet tall. We've got 2 screws here. One, 2, and the same on the other side. And again, we're spacing these about 2 feet apart. The main thing is I was trying to make sure they were at 90-degree angles. The 2 feet isn't exact, but it's close enough. So, alrighty, so I'm going to store these in my garage actually, because I probably am not going to get a chance to put the siding on quite yet.
I wasn't able to video the process of us putting the frames together or the pieces together to build the whole frame. But these should give you an idea of how they go together, and also you can see what it looks like with the roof on. We just threw a panel up there for a second, but this is the image of what the roof looks like. I recommend doing your boards in the opposite direction than we did. Instead of going down like that, you want them to go across, or you can put some more on top that go across. I think I may have to fix that at some point. Okay, so the next thing you're going to see is the supports we added. We added these in each corner on the bottom and top. It's a great use for scrap 2x4s.
Okay guys, we are at the stage where we are adding the siding. As you can see, there's snow on the ground, and we have our roofing over here. We're going to put that on later. And all I did for this is cut our T1 to 11 panels, I guess you'd call them, down to the size, the correct width for this. So I just measured from one end to the other and cut it. I need to add some screws here for the middle posts that are using, they obviously need shorter screws than I've been using for these. So on this end I use my, I believe they're 3-inch screws, because they are going into, sorry, hold on. They are going into this length here, so it's okay. But when you're screwing them into here, you need a shorter screw, because otherwise it'll go out the other side, which obviously isn't great. So as you can see, I added my panel here. This actually I didn't have to cut down because it was exactly 8 feet. These two I had to cut down to the right width. And over here we've got this. I didn't have the right size screw, so I just used a long one to hold that on until I found mine. And then I'll have to build the door. But I'm going to add an extra panel above each. Just cut these down to size for above it, so there won't be as much room for rain and snow and everything to get in. Okay, so the first thing I did was to cut, I measured that one panel would be enough to fit in this spot and still leave a little gap.
You want to have some gap for airflow, and you don't want it to be quite too big either, because you don't want water and snow and stuff coming in. But all right, so I wanted to cut it in the groove, so as you can see, probably not perfect, but this is going to slip behind here, so it's overlapping. So I loosened up my screws. I may have to remove them, I'll see. And I'm just going to slide this right on. Okay, so here you can see the overlap. I pushed it down as far as I could and screwed this back in, and then I screwed this in. Now I just have to go and do the same thing all along the back here, which is, obviously this has not been tucked in yet, so yep. Okay, so as you know, we are working with 5 panels, the T1/11 ones, and I have a lot of scrap, but it's not the right size, and I need to fill in the gap up there. So what I'm trying to do is squeeze enough out of this one remaining board, and at one end we could do two of these, and at the other end, because it's obviously at a slant, we can only fit one. So the other one I can actually, I'm gonna, well, this, you know what, this will have to go on the opposite side. That side I'm going to make a little bit better. So what I have is, this is the piece for the front that I cut out here, and so I can use these 2 panels so I can squeeze more out of this whole board. I hope that makes sense. So I am going to cut, I measured from this end all the way to here to see how wide my board needed to be, and I made a mark. I'm going to cut across here, and I'm going to cut down here again, just like I did with my other pieces. I'm using my circular saw for that. Now I can either keep this, I think it'll still fit if it's abrupt at that point, because I think I have to measure to make sure. But if not, I might cut across a line. I'm going to see how I think it looks like this, and then if I don't like it, I might cut it at a slant. That's just a purely attractiveness issue, not necessarily functional. I've got to look and see what the if it'll fit at this point, because this is about halfway, and I think my centerpiece is actually tall enough to fit 2. So I think this will be fine. And again, I might just keep it squared. I definitely am going to do a little bit better job of with this second set of getting the right size so that I can fill in the front. This is going to be in the back, I think, because the wind comes through this way. And again, I'm worried about it driving rain and snow into the house. Now the problem is that we also want it to bring a breeze in, so we don't want to close it off completely. That's going to keep it from getting super hot in the summer. So I'm trying to balance that a little bit, and I'm not sure what the absolute correct answer is. But anyway, so my first part is just to cut off this piece here. I try to do a good job cutting it because we may want to use it for something else. We'll see. And then I'm just going to cut here and then all the way up, and that's just for, again, the back side. Okay, so for this last piece, it's going to go on that side. The other one actually fit pretty well, and I didn't cut in an angle, but this one I'm going to cut in an angle. So what I know is that on the left side I have enough room for one of these panels, and in the middle I have enough room, or at 38 inches, which is halfway point, or where my stud is, there is enough space at 33 inches, or at 38 inches where I measured out. I measured it on each side, and I just marked, this is where, 2 panels is okay. It'll actually be right up to the top. So I just measured that, and I used my straight edge here to just draw a line. Now, that doesn't mean that that's the correct angle, but it should be good. And if not, I can adjust it, not a big deal. But I'm just gonna cut along this line here and this line here, and that's my last piece. Hopefully I don't mess up, because that's the last of the boards that are big enough. Okay, we're adding the galvanized panels, and they do overlap. I overlap them right over the studs, and we are screwing into any of the bubbles that happen to be in the right spot. So here's this one. My husband's putting in this one. Hopefully I'm not going to get it in the face with it. Some of these have a lot of overlap. I could probably reduce that if I'd planned out where the studs went properly, and cut these down to size. But I did not want to cut these just because it was a little extra work, or a lot of extra work. So this is where we're at. Go ahead. Show them how it's done. You gotta get in the... There you go. Good work. Now don't put your head on it. Good work, buddy.
Not gonna bother you. You don't bother them, Mommy.
You're right. Maybe we can find him a spot to hang out. He's probably a little sad right now because there's not very many flowers out. Okay, that wraps it up. This is these are some pictures of the door and the goat house all together. The door is a separate post. There's a lot going on with the door, and it definitely wasn't the most perfect thing I ever did. I was trying to use scraps and didn't want to buy more wood. So I hope this was helpful. I'm sorry it wasn't more detailed. I usually try to do better step-by-steps, but the wind was too bad to have a tripod up, and I was working in some pretty cold weather. So thanks so much. Please subscribe. I've got more details on my blog, DIYDanielle.com. Take care. Bye.